Hi, I'm Ms Hearn. Let's get started. And if you find this video helpful, please remember to give it a thumbs up. That helps other students to find the video. In general, the derivative of the original function, if you flip it, you get the derivative of the inverse. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this idea that the derivative of the inverse is the reciprocal of the derivative of the original function. So for example, suppose that we have the function f of x equals x cubed minus 3x squared minus 1, and it's on the restricted domain for x greater than or equal to 2. We want the derivative of the inverse at a point, but we don't have the inverse. It would be very difficult to actually find the inverse of this function, right? What would we have to do if we wanted to find the actual inverse? We would have to replace, well, I like to replace f of x with y, and then we would switch the x's and y's, and then we would solve for y. But how do you do that? Not really so simple. This is the inverse function, but it's written implicitly, right? So it's not so easy to actually find. Instead of actually finding dy dx and plugging in b, what we're going to do is use this formula here, this idea. So we're asked to find the derivative of f inverse at the point f of 5 equals 0. It's kind of weird because it says x is 0 and it says f of 5. Normally inside the function we have the x, but remember this is the x coordinate for the f inverse. So what this is saying is that f inverse of 0 is equal to 5, but f of 5 is equal to 0. In the original function, you have the point AB, 5, 0, but it's been flipped for the inverse function. So you have the point BA, which is 0, 5 on the inverse. All right, so when we're talking about B up here in the formula, we're talking about the number 0. So we're going to have f inverse prime of 0 is equal to 1 over f prime of f inverse of 0. Well, f inverse of 0 is 5, so that's going to be 1 over f prime of 5. So all we have to do is to find the derivative of f at 5, and we will plug in to get the derivative of f inverse. So what is f prime of x equal to? Good. F prime is equal to 3x squared minus 6x. We need f prime of 5, so that's going to give us 3 times 25 minus 6 times 5. What is that? 75 minus 30 is going to be 45. So therefore, this guy is going to be equal to 1 over 45. All right, so that's how you use this formula. And we're going to use it again. We're going to use it in a couple different circumstances where it's more necessary because we don't have another way of finding the derivative. Those circumstances are going to involve logarithms and they're going to involve inverse trig functions. So we are going to come back to this concept that the derivative of the inverse is the reciprocal of the derivative of the original function throughout the next couple of topics. Which is what we're going to do in the next video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That will help other students to find the video.